Whenever I start one of these videos, it's always like Natalie Imbruglia or Lisa Loeb or some cheesy, whiny chick rock playing in the background. I just think like, no, really, I'm cool. I listen to Metallica. It's just random happenstance that this girl rock seems to come on. Anyway, first of all, congratulations to John Delarose and Ethan Van Sciver on their new comics, Dynamite Thor and Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. Search Kickstarter and Indiegogo for their names or click the links below. Oh, and Downcast by Sweetcast, Clint Stoker just crossed $30,000. If you want to send me art or support the channel, click below and check out the P.O. Box to send me whatever. So by the time I make this, I will have a P.O. Box. I saw that some others had looked at Ignited 7, but they were great, but they took a surface level approach because they want to stay on YouTube for the foreseeable future. I kind of assume that my time is limited on this platform, so why not plunge ahead? Ignited is a power fantasy by two whitey-hating, bomb-throwing Bolsheviks. It's set in some magical Arizona where the state is full of blonde people. Arizona is mostly Mexican now. Most of the West and South is Mexican now. That's why the nation is voting Democrat, because they have substituted the Euros for left-voting brown people. The Dems know how to, 1, get votes, and 2, destroy a nation. Every city they run, they destroy. They tax the middle class to pay for these new people's welfare. Every year, the European middle class shrinks while the Spanish increases. The tax base shrinks, but that is a problem for the grandkids, and who cares about them? Ostensibly, the argument about, I'll have to call it the Boogaloo, or refer to it as Buggy Lube, is about the Second Amendment. People are missing the reason why America is fighting about limiting free expression and the Second Amendment in the first place. It's only an issue because the voter base is being replaced with socialists from the third world. These new people want handouts and taxpayer-funded everything because that they know that they won't be paying for them. The white middle class is. Of course, in a few decades, we'll run out of money. There won't be welfare or emergency medical services. But these people don't think in decades, they think in their lifetime. Let me ask, where did my tits go? You're sexualizing a high school student. People wanted to be attractive in high school. So I don't even know who this comic, what market this is aimed at. But sex sells to everybody, including high school kids. I can't imagine kids reading this comic for more than an issue and thinking, oh yeah, Antifa, we're so cool. But even Antifa kids like boobs. Let me ask a basic question here. Why is the third world the third world? Just give it some thought. Ponder it. Activate the almonds. Why is Europe and what was European America and Canada so great? Is it the soil or is it the European people? Why does everyone from the third world want to go to the places that European people made beautiful? Why don't they simply turn the third world into the first world? The people make the nation. If you bring the third world into the first world, you don't turn the people into European first worlders, you turn the first world into the third world. Nobody is talking about this because social media will just show you the door. The media will dox you, get you fired, evicted, have your bank stop doing business with you. You'll be called an extremist because you don't want to see your nation and people destroyed. So who controls social media, the legacy media? Who's advocating for this destruction of the people and why? You can't even ask that question without getting attacked by them. Ignited has the blonde woman in the lead role, and people like Mark Waid hate the people of the blonde hair and Uggs. So when he puts them in the lead, it's for a reason. In the internal world of Ignited, the sheriff is the hero, but even for Waid, it's a morally unclear character. To the reader, the kids are terrorists who violently attack people exercising their First Amendment rights to assembly, expression, plus they commit assault, battery, kidnapping, arson, terrorist threats, conspiracy, etc. The kids have superpowers to defend themselves. The townspeople are defenseless, so they use liberty devices. The God-powered kids take away their ability to defend themselves from the criminals, who in Arizona are not, how do I say this, blonde people. You know who is committing the crime in Arizona? The majority of the population in Arizona is not whites, it's Spanish. So you do the math, Mr. Waid. This is Mark Waid's power fantasy of revenge against the blonde people. For what imagined slight, I don't know. Why Waid and Kwanzer thought this comic will sell is beyond me. Issue 5 sold 1,500 copies. Keep in mind that both these guys are pretty big names. Kwanzer had a crowdfund go for $100K. It sucked. It was a crappy dog food comic called Black. It was poorly drawn and written, and people probably bought it to be nice. The follow-up, called White, sold half that, and it also looked like crap. Maybe the third comic will be called Yellow. Maybe Mike can do the cover. So maybe people are getting tired of anti-white propaganda penned by parasites like Waid. Hey, Ta-Nehisi, how is Captain America selling? A comic about an American hero written by a racist who hates America and the people who made America great. You want to scroll through his Twitter, he laughs at the South Americans getting slaughtered by the savages down there. Probably because he is a sociopath. The thing about these retards is, where would they rather live? Africa, South America, Asia? No, because those places suck. Why do those places suck? Because they're full of third worlders. The statement that third worlders made the third world is probably 8-peach in this brave new world where every day is 1984. Don't get me wrong, my family came from hellholes also. But they didn't come here and immediately start acting like termites to rot the structure that they inhabit. Why would they come to a place only to turn it into the same S-hole that they came from? Maybe some people just can't help themselves. In this mythical Arizona of white people, where all the bad guys are blonde, the kids are terrorists, but the sheriff arms the townspeople, and they decide to protect the terrorists from the feds. The way a federal exchange happens, I'm guessing, is something like this. The feds present a court order for federal jurisdiction. Then they go pick up the prisoners so they can be tried on federal charges. Why exactly the sheriff decides to use violence to try and prevent that act is unclear. The kids are violent terrorists who attacked the town. But because they only attacked white guys, Waid wants you to accept that, Waid, hey, buddy, white people are awesome, dude. They're the most peaceful people in the United States. You want them in your town. They don't commit crime. They report it because they want to live in a nice, peaceful area. I'm talking per cap. They don't commit crime. So these peaceful people want their right to assemble, expression. Oh, hey, look, white man bad. Da-da-da-da-da. And the Second Amendment. But Waid can't have white people living in peace, and Waid can't show that the actual criminals in Arizona are named Pedro or Juan, because he would get canceled on Twitter. It's pretty much the state of comics today. Every single time you read a comic, when there's an evil, incompetent character, it's going to be a blonde guy. I review these comics, and believe me, I'm never going to run out of material. Oh, this is the right-wing radio host who has a radio program called Fact Division Radio or something. And because he has a radio, I guess he's supposed to be like a Rush Limbaugh character. Like, who the hell listens to radio anyway? It's because he's supposed to be vaguely right of center. The criminals decide to burn his house down. Oh, look. Because you run a radio station called a radio show called Fact Division. Oh, wait. Oh, Kwanzer. Oh, you're so clever, Kwanzer. Fascism. The truth is always right. Right winger, huh? Right winger. So these kids, these terrorists, burned down the dude's home. I hope no one was home, or else they burned to death. Gee, wait, is that what fascists deserve? Hey, wait, is that what communists deserve? Oh, well, no. See, communism is totally different. Yeah, because communism actually killed like 100 times more people. Oh, well, that was different. Well, why is it different, Wade? Hey, Wade, why is communism okay, but fascism isn't? Hey, maybe fascism will work next time. That's all I'm saying. So how does this tie into Civil War and the electric Buggy Lube Part 2? In Wade's mind, this is how it will all shake out. The diverse group will team up to fight the white man for some reason. First of all, a diverse group of people don't form strong groups because diversity is weakness, unity is strength. The more diversity in a country, the weaker and more crime-ridden it is. I always use Japan and Israel as examples because for some reason it triggers people. They don't have open borders. They actively deport people who aren't of their race. They are the most racist people on earth. Watch YouTube videos showing Israeli protesters against Arabs and Africans. It's insane the level of hatred the Israelis have for brown people. Some of them. Don't even get me started on what racist monsters the Japanese are. Sorry, Mike. Well, only half sorry. People like Waid seem very concerned with white people and how supreme he feels they are. Except they aren't. Sorry, white people. They aren't the wealthiest people in America or even overrepresented in positions of power. That would be the Chinese, Jews, and Indians. So what exactly are you basing your hatred on, other than some straw man hatred of the beautiful people of the light? The left claim that Russia runs America. The right claims Israel runs America. So why does Waid hate blonde people so much? Waid is trying to make these criminals into good characters. But most people reading this comic are wondering who the good guys are. Their kids are violent. The people they call the alt-right Nazis, they're not actually doing anything to hurt people. The only violent ones are the superpowered kids. In fact, the white devils who want to protect their children are the good guys. But remember when Waid was asked about what Richard Meyer had done that made him so supreme? I have to change the language around a little bit. Waid had to admit that the term was fairly broad. In fact, it is so broad as to include anyone that criticized his asinine comics or voted for Trump. They're all supreme people with not a whole lot of melanin in their skin. Because that's how Mark Waid rolls. Okay, they will do this in comics where they have a morally unclear character. They did this in some animal liberation comics where these two college girls were breaking out in animal research laboratories. Oh, I won't say it. Oh, God help me, I won't say it. Okay, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to mention that pharmaceutical company that provides gendered drugs for kids. They'll put blonde or red-haired characters in those roles because even though if you're an animal rights supporter, then those are the good characters. But most people just look at them as terrorists who are interfering with business or interfering with people's medical research that saves lives, that kind of thing. So that's the reason Waid and Kwanzer are using a blonde-haired character. Though, from what I've read of Kwanzer's black and white comics, he's pretty dumb. So if it was up to Kwanzer himself, he would probably put a black person in the lead. And then you look at it and you say, well, Kwanzer, you've got these black people committing all this violent crime. Yeah, but they're committing violent crime against the white devils. Hey, Kwanzer, that's why your first book sold 100K and your second book is down to 50K. So congratulations for that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go run out and get the P.O. box. And you can send me, I don't know, whatever you want. I will see you all next episode.